Emotional reunion as cold tech CEO cries after seeing divorced wife next to Triplet after 10 years. That smile. He'd seen it before, in old photos of himself as a child. In the mirror during the few moments he'd allowed himself to be happy. Have you ever had a moment that stopped time? Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Warm welcome to the family. Enjoy the story. The tech mogul who destroyed everything he touched stood frozen in a hospital corridor, watching three children who shared his blue eyes call another man daddy. 10 years of silence shattered in an instant when Nathan Cole saw Monica Harris, his ex-wife, surrounded by the family he never knew existed. One of the triplets wasn't his, but she'd raised all three as her own, hiding a secret that would expose his company's darkest betrayal. What would you do if you discovered three children who looked exactly like you, but your ex-wife swore one wasn't yours? Have you ever faced a truth so devastating it made you question everything you thought you knew about someone you loved? This is the story of a man who thought he'd moved on, only to discover the past had been growing up without him. But which child isn't his? And why did she keep this secret for a decade? Stay with me as we uncover a mystery that will change everything you think you know about love, betrayal, and the price of ambition. Let me take you back to that moment when Nathan's carefully constructed world began to crumble. He built walls so high that love couldn't reach him, until the day he saw his reflection in three small faces pressed against hospital glass. Nathan Cole hadn't planned on being in Austin, Texas that Tuesday morning. His assistant had booked the last-minute investor meeting at Dell Children's Medical Center. Something about funding a new pediatric wing. Nathan hated hospitals. Too much emotion, too many people losing control. But $20 million was $20 million, even to a man worth $8 billion. The meeting ran long. Hospital administrators loved their speeches about changing lives and making a difference. Nathan checked his watch every 5 minutes, calculating how much money he was losing while listening to presentations about heart surgeries and cancer treatments. He was texting his pilot about departure times when he took a wrong turn down the pediatric corridor. The sterile hallway stretched endlessly under harsh white lighting, but Nathan's focus narrowed to a single window where three 9-year-old faces laughed behind glass, each one a mirror of the man he'd been at their age. The same sharp jawline, the same piercing blue eyes, the same way of tilting their heads when concentrating. Nathan's phone slipped from his fingers, clattering against the polished floor. Sir, are you all right? A security guard was speaking to him, but Nathan couldn't hear over the roar in his ears. One of the children, a girl with dark hair, had noticed him staring. She waved, her smile bright and innocent. That smile, he'd seen it before, in old photos of himself as a child. In the mirror during the few moments he'd allowed himself to be happy. Nathan, the voice made him turn, and 10 years collapsed into nothing. Monica Harris, no, her name was probably different now, stood in the hallway wearing scrubs and an expression he'd never seen before. Fear. She looked older, softer around the edges. Motherhood had filled out her frame, given her curves that hadn't existed when they were married. Her dark hair was shorter now, practical, but her eyes, those warm brown eyes that had once looked at him with love, now held something else entirely. Terror. What are you doing here? She whispered, glancing toward the children who were still playing, unaware of the earthquake happening in the adult world. Nathan found his voice. Those children, they look like... They're not all yours, Nathan. The words came fast, desperate. And before you ask which one, you need to know why I kept them all. The security guard stepped forward. Ma'am, is there a problem here? Monica's hands trembled as she smoothed her scrubs. No problem, Tom. This is an old friend. We just need to talk. Have you ever had a moment that stopped time? When everything you thought you knew about your life suddenly shifted? Tell me in the comments what that moment was like. She'd rehearsed this conversation 1,000 times in her mind, but nothing had prepared her for the hunger in his eyes when he looked at those children. The hospital chapel smelled like lemon cleaner and old prayers. Monica had chosen it because it was the one place in the building where people whispered, where conversations stayed private. Stained glass windows cast rainbow patterns across the wooden pews, but the beauty couldn't soften the jagged edges of truth being spoken in hushed tones. Nathan sat across from her, his designer suit out of place among the simple furnishings. He'd aged well, success looked good on him. The gray at his temples made him more distinguished, and his body had filled out from the lean young man she'd married. But his eyes held the same intensity that had once made her feel like the most important person in the world. Now, that intensity felt dangerous. "Start talking," he said. Monica's breath caught. Even his voice had deepened, carrying the authority of a man accustomed to being obeyed. She noticed how his hands gripped the pew in front of him, knuckles white with restraint. "Emma, Michael, and David were born 9 months after I moved to Austin," she began. "The math is simple, Nathan. You do the calculations. 9 months." His voice was flat. "So they were conceived right after our divorce was finalized." "Yes." "With who?" Monica's chest tightened. How could she explain that the man who'd helped her heal from Nathan's coldness had been everything Nathan wasn't? Patient, present, warm? How could she tell him that while he was building his empire, she was building a family with someone who actually wanted to be part of it? "Someone who was there when you weren't," she said finally. Nathan's laugh was bitter. "That narrows it down to roughly 7 billion people. You want to know which child isn't biologically yours?" Monica's voice carried years of pain and sleepless nights. "The real question is, does it matter when I'm the only parent they've ever known?" She watched his face change as the implication hit him. Nathan Cole, the man who owned everything he touched, had no legal claim to any of these children. Monica had made sure of that. "They don't know about me," he said. It wasn't a question. They know their biological fathers exist. They know one of them is wealthy and lives far away. But they have a dad, Nathan. A real dad who's been there for scraped knees and bedtime stories and school plays. Nathan's phone buzzed against the wooden pew. He glanced at it, and Monica saw his entire body go rigid. "What is it?" Nathan's face had gone pale. "Someone else knows about the children. Someone who's been watching. If you discovered your ex had children right after your relationship ended, would biology matter more than the years they spent raising them alone? Share your thoughts below." The message on Nathan's phone was simple but chilling. "I know what you're thinking about those kids. We need to talk. JM." Someone else knew about the children. Someone who'd been waiting for this moment. The message came from a dead man, or at least a man Nathan thought he'd destroyed 10 years ago. James Mitchell had been Nathan's business partner in the early days, back when their company was just 2 guys in a garage with big dreams and bigger ambitions. James was the creative one, the people person who could charm investors and make employees feel valued. Nathan was the strategist, the one who made the hard decisions and drove them toward success. Their partnership ended badly. Nathan had discovered James was planning to start a competing company using their shared technology. Instead of confrontation, Nathan had done what he did best. He'd methodically destroyed James's reputation, froze his assets, and made sure no investor in Silicon Valley would ever trust him again. James had disappeared after that. Nathan assumed he'd crawled away to lick his wounds in some small town, maybe taken a teaching job or started selling insurance. Nathan hadn't thought about him in years. Until now. The coffee shop buzzed with Austin's creative energy, laptops and conversations creating a symphony of ambition. But Nathan heard only the steady rhythm of his own heartbeat as James Mitchell walked through the door, older, scarred, but very much alive. James looked different. The expensive suits were gone, replaced by jeans and a simple button-down shirt. His hair had gone silver, and lines around his eyes spoke of laughter and worry in equal measure. But when he smiled, that patient, knowing smile that had once hidden so much ambition, Nathan felt like he was 25 again, sitting in that garage, planning to conquer the world. "Hello, Nathan. I thought you were dead." James slid into the booth across from him, moving with the ease of a man comfortable in his own skin. "Just living differently. Austin's been good to me. Good to us. Us. Monica and I have been together for 9 years. Since about 6 months after she moved here." James's voice was steady, matter of fact. I helped her through the worst of it. The divorce really broke her, you know? She didn't trust anyone for a long time. Nathan felt something twist in his chest. Monica's body language had shifted when James arrived. Subtle touches, shared glances, the intimacy of people who knew each other's rhythms. The way she looked at James was nothing like the guarded fear she'd shown Nathan in the hospital. "One of those children is yours," Nathan said. "David." James didn't hesitate. "He's got my chin, my stubborn streak, and my unfortunate habit of singing off-key in the shower. And the other two are yours. Emma's got your mind. She's scary smart, sees patterns everywhere. Michael has your intensity, but he uses it to protect people instead of conquering them." James paused. "They're good kids, Nathan. All three of them. Monica raised them right. While you played house with my ex-wife. While I loved a woman you threw away." James's voice remained calm, but his eyes hardened. "While I became a father to children who needed one." Have you ever had someone from your past return when you thought that chapter was closed forever? How did it change everything? Drop your story in the comments. James smiled, that patient smile Nathan remembered, the one that had hidden so much ambition years ago. "One of those beautiful children calls me Dad. And Monica and I are getting married next month." While Nathan was building empires, James was building something more precious, a family with the woman Nathan had thrown away. The suburban home glowed with warm light and children's laughter, swing sets and bicycles scattered across the yard like promises of the childhood Nathan never had, and the family he'd never built. Nathan sat in his rental car across the street, watching through windows that revealed the life he might have lived if he'd made different choices. James moved through the living room with the confidence of a man who belonged there. He helped Emma with homework at the kitchen table, while Michael practiced piano in the corner. David sat on James's lap, reading aloud from a picture book, stumbling over big words while James patiently sounded them out. Monica emerged from the kitchen carrying glasses of milk, her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, wearing clothes that had seen better days but fit her like comfort itself. She kissed James's temple as she passed, a casual gesture of affection that spoke of thousands of similar moments. Nathan's chest tightened as he watched James help one of the boys, Michael, he thought, with a math problem. The child's complete trust and affection was obvious in the way he leaned into James, seeking approval for each correct answer. When James smiled and ruffled the boy's hair, Michael beamed like he'd conquered the world. Everything Nathan had missed, every bedtime story, every scraped knee, every small triumph and daily disaster that built the foundation of a family. Through the kitchen window, Nathan could see Monica and James sharing an intimate moment. Her arms were around his neck, his hands on her waist. The easy sensuality of long-term lovers who'd learned each other's bodies and hearts. She laughed at something he whispered, throwing her head back in genuine delight. Nathan remembered when Monica used to laugh like that with him, before success consumed him, before he decided that showing vulnerability was weakness and that love was a distraction from building an empire. The front door opened, and Emma stepped onto the porch, looking directly at Nathan's car. Even from a distance, he could see her studying him with the sharp intelligence James had mentioned. She was tall for 9, with Monica's dark hair and Nathan's blue eyes. When she tilted her head, considering him, the gesture was purely his own. She walked to the edge of the yard, close enough that Nathan could see her face clearly. She didn't wave or call out. She just stood there, watching him watch her family. Then she mouthed for words that stopped Nathan's heart. "I know who you are." Before Nathan could react, Monica appeared in the doorway, scanning the street until her eyes found his car. The look she gave him wasn't anger. It was something worse. Pity mixed with protective fury. She said something to Emma, who nodded and went back inside. Monica stood on her porch for a long moment, arms crossed, making it clear that Nathan wasn't welcome in this world she'd built. What's harder, losing someone you love or watching them be happy with someone else? Have you experienced that kind of complicated heartbreak? Share your experience. As Nathan prepared to drive away, accepting his loss, Emma knocked on his passenger window. "Mama said not to tell you this," she whispered through the glass. but I know you're my real daddy. And I know something about Uncle James that Mama doesn't. Children see truths adults work desperately to hide. And Emma Cole had been watching, listening, and keeping secrets that could shatter her mother's world. Nathan's hotel room felt like a confessional as Emma curled into the oversized chair, her small voice carrying the weight of adult secrets she shouldn't have to bear. She'd insisted on meeting him away from the house, away from Monica and James, away from her brothers who didn't yet know the man in the expensive suit was anything more than a stranger. "How did you know?" Nathan asked, studying this child who looked so much like him it was unsettling. "Pictures," Emma said simply. "Mama has a box hidden in her closet. Wedding pictures, old letters, stuff from before we were born. You look the same, just older." Nathan's throat tightened. Monica had kept their wedding photos. Despite everything, the bitter divorce, the years of silence, building a new life with another man, she'd kept pieces of what they'd been. "What else did you find in that box?" Emma's expression grew serious, too serious for a 9-year-old. "Letters from lawyers, papers about money, and..." She hesitated, glancing toward the door as if Monica might walk in. "Uncle James gets envelopes every month. Thick ones with lots of money." "Money from who?" "I don't know, but I saw the return address once when he left it on the kitchen counter. It has your company's name on it." Nathan felt the floor shift beneath him. "You're sure? I can read good. Cole Technologies. That's you, right?" Nathan's mind was racing. James was receiving regular payments from his company, but Nathan hadn't authorized any payments to James Mitchell. He'd made sure James would never get another dime from him or anyone connected to him. "Emma, when did these payments start?" "I noticed them about a year ago, but Mama mentioned them before that. She always gets quiet when the envelopes come. Uncle James tells her it's from his old job, but..." Emma shrugged with the casual wisdom of a child who'd learned to read adult lies. "Adults say lots of things that aren't true. Has James ever mentioned my name around your mother?" Emma's eyes lit up with the excitement of sharing a real secret. "He talks to someone on the phone every month after the envelope comes. He goes in the garage, so we can't hear, but the walls are thin. He says your name, and he always sounds scared, like when Michael breaks something and he's trying to decide if he should tell Mama." Nathan's pulse quickened. James was receiving money from Nathan's company and reporting to someone about it. But who and why? "Does your mother know about these phone calls?" "No, and you can't tell her I told you." Emma's voice carried genuine fear. "Uncle James is good to us. He loves Mama and he loves us boys. But sometimes I think he's sad about something he can't tell us." Nathan leaned forward, his voice gentle despite the storm building inside him. "Emma, I need you to listen carefully. If Uncle James is getting money he shouldn't have, it's not his fault. Someone else might be making him do things he doesn't want to do." "Like blackmail?" Emma asked with the casual familiarity of a child raised on crime shows. "Maybe, but I'm going to fix it, okay? I'm going to make sure you and your brothers and your mother are safe. Have you ever been caught between protecting someone and telling them a truth they need to hear? What did you choose? Tell me in the comments." Emma nodded solemnly, then delivered the words that would change everything. "The phone number Uncle James calls? I wrote it down. I thought maybe someday I need to call them too." Chapter 6, The Corporate Conspiracy, 560 words. He destroyed competitors, buried scandals, and eliminated threats. But Nathan never imagined his own board of directors would use his children as weapons against him. The phone number Emma had given him led to a private investigator in San Francisco. Nathan's hands shook as he dialed, though he couldn't tell if it was from rage or fear. When the man answered, his voice was professionally neutral until Nathan identified himself. "Mr. Cole, I've been expecting your call for 10 years. Who hired you?" "Your board of directors. Specifically, Richard Hartman and the Acquisition Committee." The investigator's tone was matter-of-fact, as if discussing weather. "They were concerned about your emotional stability after the divorce, worried that reconciliation might affect your business judgment." Nathan's office suddenly felt too small, the walls closing in. "What exactly did they hire you to do?" "Monitor Monica Harris's relocation to Austin. Ensure she established roots there. Report any attempts at contact between you two. A pause. And facilitate her relationship with James Mitchell. The words hit Nathan like a physical blow. Facilitate. Mr. Mitchell was broke when he left California. We provided him with funds to relocate to Austin, establish himself professionally, and make himself available to Ms. Harris during her vulnerable period. Nathan's vision blurred. The boardroom where he'd made his fortune now felt like a tomb, each leather chair occupied by men who traded his family's happiness for corporate profit margins. You paid him to seduce her. We paid him to be present. What developed between them was... The investigator cleared his throat. Organic for what I observed. Mr. Mitchell genuinely fell in love with her and the children. Our payments continued as insurance that he'd never encourage her to contact you. How much? $10,000 monthly. Enough to supplement his teaching salary and provide comfortable living for a family of 4. Nathan's memory flashed to Monica's passion during their marriage, how her fire had both attracted and intimidated him. She'd never been someone who could be bought or manipulated, but a man showing up exactly when she needed stability, offering patience and warmth after years of Nathan's emotional coldness. The children, did you know about them? We suspected pregnancy during our surveillance. Mr. Mitchell confirmed paternity of one child through private testing we arranged. The other 2, another pause. We assumed they were his as well until recently. Nathan's laugh was hollow. So for 10 years, you've been paying my ex-wife's boyfriend to keep my own children away from me. The board felt it was necessary. Your divorce made you more focused, more profitable. Your net worth increased 400% in the decade following the separation. At what cost? That wasn't our concern. Nathan hung up and immediately called an emergency board meeting. Within 2 hours, he was facing the same men who'd shaped his empire and apparently orchestrated his personal destruction. Richard Hartman, the board chairman, didn't deny anything. We protected the company's interests. And yours, frankly. You were better without her. You stole my family. We saved your career. Your stock options alone are worth more than most countries' GDP. I would trade every cent for one bedtime story with those children. The room fell silent. These men had never heard Nathan Cole speak about anything but profit margins and market share. If you discovered people you trusted had been controlling your life for years, would you choose revenge or redemption? What would drive your next decision? The confrontation revealed the final piece of the puzzle. James wasn't just paid to keep Nathan away. He was paid to make Monica fall in love with him. Everything she thought was real had been purchased by Nathan's own money. The man she'd learned to love, who'd healed her heart and fathered her children, had been hired to seduce her. But some lies grow into truth, and some paid affection becomes real. Nathan drove to Austin that same night, the corporate conspiracy burning in his chest like acid. The house was dark except for the kitchen window, where he could see Monica and James at the table, sharing late-night coffee like they had for 9 years. He knocked instead of ringing the doorbell. No need to wake the children for what was coming. Monica answered the door in pajamas and a robe, her hair loose around her shoulders. Even in sleepwear, she looked beautiful in ways that made Nathan remember why he'd married her. Her face cycled through confusion, concern, and resignation when she saw his expression. "The children are asleep," she said quietly. "This isn't about them." "Not yet." James appeared behind her, protective but not aggressive. He wore boxers and an old t-shirt, looking like exactly what he was, a man comfortable in his own home, defending his family. "Nathan, it's late. Perfect time for truth." Nathan pulled out his phone, scrolling to the bank records his assistant had compiled during the drive. $10,000. Every month for 9 years. From my company to your bank account. The color drained from James's face. Monica looked between them, not understanding yet, but sensing the shift in atmosphere. "What's he talking about?" "Tell her," Nathan said to James. "Tell her how we met in Austin wasn't coincidence. Tell her how your patient courtship, your perfect timing, your ability to give her everything I couldn't. Tell her how much it cost." "Nathan, don't do this." "Don't do what?" "Tell the woman I love that her entire relationship is a lie." that the father of her child was bought and paid for by the man she divorced. Monica stepped back, one hand going to her throat. "What are you saying?" Nathan's voice was steady, clinical. "My board of directors hired James to keep you away from me. They paid him to relocate to Austin, to be available when you were vulnerable, to ensure you'd never want to reconcile with me." The living room that had hosted years of birthday parties and bedtime stories now echoed with accusations and revelations that turned every happy memory into a question mark. "James!" Monica's voice was small, broken. James's shoulders sagged. "It started that way. I was broke, angry, looking for revenge against Nathan for what he'd done to my career. When his board approached me with a job, it seemed like justice. Job." Monica repeated the word like it tasted bitter. "But Monica, everything that happened between us, the love, David, our life together, that became real. You have to believe me. I don't have to believe anything." Monica's voice was getting stronger, anger replacing shock. "How long? How long before you decided you actually loved me instead of just pretending?" James's silence was answer enough. Monica turned to Nathan, tears streaming down her face. "And you? How long have you known?" "I found out today." She laughed, but it sounded like crying. "Today? So you came here to, what? Rescue me? Win me back by destroying the only stability my children have ever known." Nathan stepped toward her, but Monica held up a hand. "If someone you loved for years told you it started as deception, but became real, could you forgive them? Share your thoughts on where the line is between lies and love. Get out, both of you. I need to think." But as Nathan turned to leave, Monica grabbed his arm. Her touch was electric, familiar despite the years apart. "Stay." James goes. "You stay." The paternity test results lay sealed on the kitchen table. 3 envelopes that would determine not just biology, but the future of a fractured family. Monica had insisted on the tests after James moved out. She needed facts, not assumptions, not memories clouded by betrayal and manipulation. Nathan had submitted his sample without argument. He was finally ready for truth, whatever it cost. The children were at school. The house felt enormous without their voices, without James's presence, without the comfortable chaos of family life. Monica sat across from Nathan at the same table where homework had been completed and birthday cakes had been served, but now it felt like a courtroom. 3 sealed envelopes sat like judges on the wooden surface, each containing the power to reshape lives while 3 children played at recess, unaware their laughter might be divided by DNA. "Before we open these," Monica said, "I need you to understand something. These children have been through enough upheaval. Whatever these papers say, they don't change who's been here, who's loved them, who's earned the right to be called Dad." Nathan nodded, though his hands shook slightly. 10 years of wondering, of missing birthdays and first steps in bedtime stories had led to this moment. Monica opened Emma's envelope first. 99.7% probability of paternity. Emma was his. The little girl with his eyes and his intelligence and his stubborn streak was his daughter. Michael's envelope came next. 99.8% probability of paternity. 2 of 3. Nathan felt something crack open in his chest, something that had been frozen since the divorce. David's envelope was last. 0% probability of paternity. David belonged to James completely. The boy who'd been reading on James's lap, who'd called him Dad for 9 years, who had James's chin and his off-key singing voice. Monica was watching Nathan's face carefully. Does it change anything? Knowing. Nathan thought about David's trust, his easy affection with James, the way he lit up when James came home from work. Then he thought about Emma and Michael, who'd lived 9 years not knowing their biological father existed. "It changes everything and nothing," Nathan said finally. "They're all your children. That's what matters. But Emma and Michael are biologically yours. Biology doesn't make someone a parent. Being there does. Showing up does. Love does." Nathan's voice was steady despite the emotion behind it. James earned the right to be their father. All 3 of them. Monica's eyes filled with tears. Even after everything he did, the deception, he loved you. He loved them. That part was real. Monica, I can see it in how they look at him, how secure they are. Nathan paused. I was bought too in a way. My board knew exactly how to manipulate me. Through ambition, through pride, through the belief that success mattered more than love. So what do we do now? Nathan reached across the table and took her hand. Her skin was softer now, marked by years of caring for others. We figure out what's best for them. Not for us, not for James, for Emma, Michael, and David. What makes someone a parent? Biology, presence, or love? If you had to fight for your right to be in a child's life, what would you be willing to sacrifice? After reading the results, Monica made a declaration that stunned Nathan. I don't care what these papers say. They're all my children, and they're staying together. If anyone tries to split them up, they'll lose them all. Like the biblical king who threatened to split a child in two, Monica forced both men to choose between their pride and their love for the children. The courthouse steps stretched upward like a mountain of consequences, each legal filing another stone in the wall that could separate three children who'd never known life apart. Nathan's lawyers occupied one side of the hallway, their expensive suits and briefcases representing his wealth and determination. James sat alone on a bench, looking like exactly what he was. A middle school teacher who couldn't afford the legal firepower being aimed at his family. Monica emerged from the family services office, her face pale but determined. She'd spent the morning with social workers, child psychologists, and mediators, all trying to untangle the mess three adults had created. They want to interview the children, she told both men, separately, to determine their preferences and emotional attachments. Absolutely not. Nathan's voice was sharp. They're not going to be traumatized by this process. A little late for that concern, James said quietly. Nathan turned on him. You want to talk about trauma? You want to discuss the psychological impact of discovering that your entire childhood was built on a lie your mother's boyfriend was paid to tell. Stop. Monica stepped between them. Both of you, this isn't about you anymore. It's not about your wounded pride or your guilt or your anger. It's about three children who deserve better than watching their parents destroy each other in a courthouse. The hallway fell silent except for the echo of footsteps and hushed conversations from other broken families seeking justice or custody or simply the right to love their children. The mediator has a proposal, Monica continued. Joint custody between both fathers, with me as primary guardian. Emma and Michael would spend time with Nathan. David stays primarily with James. But we all work together for holidays, birthdays, major decisions. Split custody. Nathan's jaw was tight. You want to divide them. I want to honor the love they've already received while giving them access to the love they deserve. Monica's voice was getting stronger. Emma asked me last night why families have to choose sides. She said in school they learned about blended families, families with step-parents, families with adopted children. She wanted to know why we couldn't all just be one big family. James looked up from the bench. What did you tell her? That sometimes adults make things more complicated than they need to be because they're scared of getting hurt again. Nathan sat down heavily next to James, the fight going out of him. I missed 9 years, 9 birthdays, 9 Christmas mornings, 9 first days of school. And I might lose David, James said quietly. The boy I've raised since he was born, who calls me dad, who doesn't understand why I can't live with him anymore. So what do we do? Monica looked at both of them. The men who'd shaped her life in different ways, who'd given her children and heartbreak and love in measures she was still calculating. We put them first. We figure out how to share without fighting. We learn to co-parent, even though we've never learned to coexist. Could you share parenting with someone who had betrayed you if it meant keeping your children happy? What boundaries would you set? The judge's decision was unprecedented. Joint custody between both men, with Monica as primary guardian. But the real test came when Emma asked the question no adult wanted to answer. Why can't we just all be one big family? Out of the mouths of babes came the solution that 3 adults couldn't find. What if love didn't have to choose sides? The backyard barbecue looked like any suburban gathering. Children running through sprinklers, adults manning grills, laughter mixing with the smell of charcoal and summer heat. but the dynamics defied every traditional family structure anyone had ever seen. Emma was explaining quantum physics to Nathan while he flipped burgers, her 9-year-old mind already grasping concepts that impressed him. Michael had convinced James to play catch, their easy rhythm unchanged by legal documents or custody arrangements. David moved between both men freely, seeking attention and affection from the only fathers he'd ever known. Monica watched from the deck, iced tea in hand, marveling at how quickly children adapted to situations that left adults struggling. 3 months since the custody arrangement began, and her children were thriving in ways that surprised everyone. "It's working," she said to Sarah, her neighbor who'd stopped by with her own kids. "I don't understand how, but yeah." Sarah watched Nathan teaching David how to properly hold a baseball bat while James cheered from the sidelines. Most divorced couples can't be in the same room. You've got 2 baby daddies grilling together. They're not baby daddies. They're both fathers. The distinction mattered. Nathan had stepped into his role with the dedication he'd once reserved for business deals, learning bedtime routines and favorite foods and a specific way Emma liked her hair braided. James maintained his relationship with Emma and Michael while being David's primary father figure, navigating the complexity with grace Monica hadn't expected. But the arrangement wasn't without tension. Monica felt it in the way both men watched her, in the careful politeness they maintained around each other, in the undercurrents that ran beneath every family gathering. She was attracted to both of them for different reasons. Nathan's intensity and newfound vulnerability, James's steady warmth and proven devotion. The children had adapted, but the adults were still figuring out boundaries. "Mama," Emma called from the yard. "Nathan says he can teach me to code, but Uncle James says I should learn piano first. What do you think?" "I think you can learn both," Monica called back, but she caught the look that passed between the 2 men. Competition disguised as cooperation. That evening, after the children were in bed and the dishes were done, Monica found Nathan and James on the back porch, sharing a beer in an uncomfortable silence. "We need to talk," she told them. They sat in chairs arranged in a triangle, like a therapy session or a business negotiation. The suburban night buzzed with crickets and distant traffic, the sounds of normal families in normal houses living normal lives. "This arrangement works for the children," Monica began, "but it's not sustainable for us. The tension, the competition, the way you both watch me like I'm going to choose sides." "Aren't you?" Nathan asked quietly. "Maybe, but first I need to know something. Can you 2 actually coexist long-term? Because if this is going to work, if we're going to put the children first, you need to figure out how to be partners instead of rivals. Could you share parenting with someone who had betrayed you if it meant keeping your children happy? What boundaries would you set?" The arrangement was working until the night Monica overheard Nathan and James talking. "One of us has to step aside," Nathan said. "The children need stability, not confusion." James's response changed everything. "Then let Monica choose." After years of having her choices made for her, Monica finally held the power to determine her own destiny, and the responsibility terrified her. The garden where they'd held so many family barbecues now served as an arena where 2 men waited for judgment from the woman they both claimed to love. Monica had asked them to meet her there, away from the children's ears, away from the house where every room held memories of the life she'd built with James and the new memories she was creating with Nathan. "I've been thinking about what you said," she told them. "About choosing, about stability." Nathan sat forward in his chair, his expensive suit replaced by jeans and a t-shirt, his attempt to fit into her suburban world. James remained relaxed, comfortable in the space he'd helped create, but his eyes held the wariness of a man who knew he might lose everything. "I loved you first," Nathan said quietly. "I know I threw it away. I know I chose work over you, but what we had was real. The children we made together, that has to count for something." "It does," Monica replied. "But loving someone first doesn't mean loving them best." James's voice was steady despite the emotion behind it. "I know how this started. I know about the money, the manipulation. But 9 years, Monica, 9 years of real love, real partnership, real family. That has to count too." Monica looked between them. "Nathan, whose intensity had once swept her off her feet, and whose newfound vulnerability touched places in her heart she'd thought were dead. And James, whose patient love had healed her when she was broken, and whose steady presence had given her children security they'd never known. "You want me to choose based on the past," she said. "Nathan, you want credit for our history, our children, the love we had before everything went wrong. James, you want credit for being there, for picking up the pieces, for loving me when I couldn't love myself." Both men remained silent, sensing she wasn't finished. "But I'm not the same woman either of you fell in love with. Nathan, I'm not the young wife who needed rescuing from financial worry and who was willing to accept emotional neglect for security. James, I'm not the broken divorcee who needed healing and was grateful for any man who showed me kindness." She stood up, pacing the small garden space they'd created together. "I'm a mother first, a woman who's learned her own worth, someone who won't settle for being anyone's second choice or consolation prize." Nathan's hands clenched in his lap. "So what are you saying?" "I'm saying I refuse to choose between you like you're competing for a prize. I'm saying that maybe the question isn't which of you deserves me, but whether either of you is ready for the woman I've become." James looked confused. "Monica, what do you want?" "I want a partnership built on equality, not rescue. I want love that enhances my life instead of completing it. I want someone who loves my children not because they're mine or his, but because they're worthy of love." She paused. "And I want honesty, complete honesty. No more games, no more manipulation, no more trying to win me like I'm some prize. If you had to choose between comfortable love and passionate love, knowing either choice would hurt people you care about, what would guide your decision?" Monica's announcement stunned everyone. "I'm not choosing between you. I'm choosing something different entirely. Something that puts the children first and gives us all a chance to heal. Society has rules about love, marriage, and family, but sometimes the heart writes its own legislation." The dinner table stretched longer now, accommodating more chairs, more voices, more laughter, a daily reminder that families come in many forms, all of them valid when built on love and respect rather than obligation or tradition. Monica's solution had shocked everyone, including herself. Instead of choosing between Nathan and James, she'd chosen transparency. Complete, uncomfortable, revolutionary transparency. "We're going to try something that might sound crazy," she told the children 6 months earlier. "We're going to be a family that doesn't look like other families. Uncle James will always be David's dad, and your dad too if you want. Nathan is Emma and Michael's biological father, but he wants to be part of all your lives. And I'm going to love both of them, differently but honestly." The children had adapted with the resilience that continually amazed adults. Emma split her time between Nathan's downtown loft and the suburban house, thriving in both environments. Michael found comfort in James's steady presence while building a relationship with Nathan based on shared interests in technology and problem-solving. David continued calling James dad, while accepting Nathan as a beloved uncle figure. But the adults were still learning the rules of their unprecedented arrangement. Nathan had moved to Austin permanently, buying a house 3 blocks away. He and James had developed a partnership that surprised everyone. Nathan's business skills helping James launch a nonprofit focused on education funding. James's people skills helping Nathan connect with his children in ways that felt natural rather than forced. Monica maintained intimate relationships with both men, but with boundaries and schedules and complete honesty that eliminated jealousy through transparency. Tuesday and Thursday nights with Nathan. Weekends with James. Family dinners every Sunday where they all came together. The neighborhood had struggled to understand their arrangement initially. Soccer moms whispered at pickup. PTA meetings included pointed questions about family stability. But the children's happiness spoke louder than gossip. "How does it work?" Sarah asked during one of their regular coffee conversations. "Really? How do you manage logistics?" "The same way divorced parents manage custody, except we're all in the same city and we all talk to each other," Monica replied. "The children know exactly where they'll be each night, who's picking them up from school, who's helping with homework. There's no confusion because there are no secrets. But don't you get jealous? When Nathan's with you, Don't you wonder about James? Monica considered the question seriously. Sometimes, but jealousy comes from insecurity and possessiveness. When you're honest about your needs and everyone's needs are being met, jealousy becomes less relevant. And the men? They're okay with sharing you. They're not sharing me. They each have a relationship with me. Different relationships, but real ones. Nathan gets my intensity, my intellectual partnership, the history we built. James gets my comfort, my daily life, the family we created together. The arrangement wasn't perfect. There were scheduling conflicts and hurt feelings and moments when someone felt left out. But it worked because everyone had chosen it freely, with full knowledge of what it meant. Do you think love has to be exclusive to be real? Can unconventional families work when everyone's needs are honored? Share your perspective. Their happiness was threatened when Nathan's reformed board of directors made him an ultimatum. Maintain a conventional family structure or lose his position as CEO. Success had cost Nathan his family once. Now he faced the choice between corporate power and the love he'd fought so hard to rebuild. The boardroom where Nathan had built his empire now felt like a courtroom where his personal life was on trial. Richard Hartman and the other directors sat across from him, their faces wearing the same expressions they'd used 10 years earlier when they decided his family was expendable for corporate profits. The media attention is becoming problematic, Hartman said, sliding a folder of newspaper clippings across the polished table. CEO, an unconventional love triangle. Tech giant's alternative family structure. Investors are asking questions. Nathan didn't touch the folder. He'd seen the headlines, weathered the gossip columns, endured the late-night talk show jokes. His stock price had actually risen during the media coverage. Apparently, humanizing a billionaire CEO was good for business, but his board remained uncomfortable with anything that couldn't be controlled or contained. My personal life doesn't affect my ability to run this company. Your personal life affects our corporate image, our brand value, our shareholders' confidence. Our shareholders care about profits. We've had 3 record-breaking quarters since I moved to Austin because you've been focused on proving a point. But this arrangement with your ex-wife and her boyfriend is unsustainable. It makes you look unstable, unreliable. Nathan thought about Emma explaining her science project to him over breakfast that morning, her enthusiasm infectious as she described the molecular structure of water. He thought about Michael's quiet pride when Nathan had attended his piano recital. He thought about David's easy acceptance of Nathan's presence in his life, calling him Uncle Nathan with genuine affection. What exactly are you asking me to do? Choose the woman or the company, traditional marriage or your position as CEO. We can't have our leader involved in whatever this is. Nathan's laugh was hollow. You're firing me for being happy. We're offering you a choice. Clean up your personal life, present a conventional family structure, and remain CEO, or continue this. Experiment and step down. And if I refuse both options, then we'll make the choice for you. The board has the authority to remove you for conduct detrimental to the company's interests. Nathan stood up, looking out the floor-to-ceiling windows of the San Francisco skyline he'd once thought represented everything he wanted. Success, power, the ability to control his world through will and intelligence. You did this to me once before, destroyed my family because you thought it would make me more profitable. It did make you more profitable. It made me miserable. It cost me 9 years with my children. It cost me the love of the only woman who ever saw past my money to who I really was. And now you have all of that back, at the cost of your professional reputation. Nathan turned from the window, his decision crystallizing with each word. Then I choose my family. All of it. Emma, Michael, David, Monica, and yes, even James. I choose the life I've built over the empire you think I owe you. The press conference room buzzed with anticipation as Nathan approached the podium, knowing his next words would either salvage his career or sacrifice it for something more valuable. Effective immediately, I'm resigning as CEO of Cole Technologies to focus on what actually matters, being the father and partner I should have been years ago. Would you give up career success to protect the people you love? What's the most important thing you'd be willing to sacrifice for family? Nathan's resignation sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley, but the real surprise came when he announced his next venture, a family foundation, and he wouldn't be running it alone. The family that broke every rule was about to rewrite the book on what success really means. The foundation office bustled with activity as families of all configurations sought support, guidance, and legal protection. Proof that love comes in many forms, all of them deserving recognition. Nathan had used his severance package and personal savings to launch the Cole Family Foundation, but it was Monica's vision and James's community connections that made it successful. We've helped over 200 families in 6 months. Monica told the local news reporter who'd come to interview them about their unconventional nonprofit. Single parents, blended families, grandparents raising grandchildren, same-sex couples, polyamorous arrangements like ours. Every family structure you can imagine. The reporter looked skeptical. And you 3 run this together? Despite your complex relationship. Because of our complex relationship, James answered from behind his desk. We understand that families don't have to look traditional to be loving and stable. Nathan emerged from the conference room where he'd been meeting with a custody lawyer, his tie loosened and his sleeves rolled up. The corporate executive had been replaced by someone more approachable, more human. Success looked different on him now. Instead of power suits and stock options, he measured achievement in families reunited and children protected. The Martinez case went well, he told Monica. The court granted joint custody despite the father being deployed overseas. Our legal brief about long-distance parenting helped. Monica smiled, the kind of genuine happiness that had been missing during their marriage. Emma's going to love hearing about that. She's been worried about military families in her social studies project. Their children have become advocates for family diversity, defending their own structure and educating classmates about different ways people could love and support each other. Emma gave presentations about blended families. Michael volunteered at the foundation on weekends. David started a pen pal program for children with deployed parents. The foundation's success had attracted national attention. They've been invited to speak at conferences, consult on legislation, and provide expert testimony in custody cases that involve non-traditional family structures. The irony isn't lost on me, Nathan told a magazine interviewer. I spent years building a company that made me wealthy but cost me everything that mattered. Now I'm running a nonprofit that pays me a fraction of my former salary, and I've never been happier. But their personal happiness remained complicated. Monica's relationships with both men had deepened, but so had the complexity of managing everyone's needs and emotions. How long do you think this can last? James asked Nathan during one of their regular evening walks around the neighborhood. As long as everyone chooses it, Nathan replied. As long as we keep talking, keep being honest, keep putting the children first. And if one of us wants more, wants exclusivity, then we'll figure it out. Together, like we always do. Their evening routine had become a cornerstone of their arrangement. Nathan and James walking while Monica helped with homework, sharing the responsibilities of 3 children and 2 careers and one very complicated love story. What would you want to change about society's expectations of families? How can we better support love in all its forms? As they celebrated their foundation's first anniversary, Monica had an announcement that would add another layer to their already complex family structure. I'm pregnant. And this time, we planned it together. The woman who once faced impossible choices now created new life, surrounded by love, support, and the freedom to define family on her own terms. The nursery walls glowed soft yellow in the evening light, 3 children's handprints decorating one wall, while 2 men assembled a crib that would welcome their newest family member into a home built on love, not convention. Emma, Michael, and David had chosen the paint color together, debating between yellow and green before deciding that yellow felt more hopeful. Monica watched from the doorway, one hand resting on her growing belly, marveling at how far they'd all come from that day in the hospital corridor when Nathan had discovered his children existed. 2 years had transformed them from strangers and enemies into something unprecedented, a family that defied every traditional definition but worked because everyone chose it daily. Baby Emma was my size when Mama was pregnant, David announced, holding up the tiny onesie they'd bought that morning. At 11, he'd become the family expert on pregnancy, having researched everything from proper nutrition to developmental milestones. "The baby's going to be lucky," Michael said, carefully organizing miniature socks in rainbow colors. "Most kids only get one dad. This one gets two, plus the best mama in the world." Emma looked up from the children's book she was reading aloud to Monica's belly, and 3 big brothers and sisters who were going to teach them everything important. Nathan and James exchanged glances over the crib they'd spent the afternoon assembling. Their relationship had evolved into genuine partnership, built on shared commitment to the children and deep respect for each other's contributions to their unconventional family. "Are you nervous?" James asked Monica as the children headed downstairs for dinner. Terrified, she admitted, but not about the baby, about everything else. The media attention, the foundation growing so fast, the way people still stare when we're all together in public. Nathan joined them by the window that overlooked their shared backyard. Technically his house and James's house shared the space, with Monica's in between. They'd eventually bought all 3 properties, creating a family compound that neighbors had initially found shocking but now accepted as normal. "The staring doesn't bother me anymore," Nathan said. "Let them wonder how it works. We know it works. Because we talk about everything," James added. "Because we chose honesty over comfort, transparency over easy answers." Monica placed both their hands on her belly, where their baby moved restlessly. "This child will grow up knowing that love doesn't have limits, that families can be chosen and created, and that the heart is big enough for all of us." They'd learn to navigate the complexity through radical honesty and unwavering commitment to the children's well-being. Monica's pregnancy had been planned and celebrated by everyone. Another child to love, another family member to protect and nurture. The foundation had grown into a national organization, helping thousands of families navigate legal and social challenges related to non-traditional structures. Their success had opened doors for other families to live authentically, to love openly, to create homes based on choice rather than convention. 5 years ago, if someone had told me I'd be assembling a crib with my ex-wife's boyfriend while planning a future for our shared children, I'd have had them committed, Nathan said. 5 years ago, if someone had told me I'd trust Nathan Cole with my family's happiness, I'd have laughed them out of the room, James replied. And if someone had told me I'd be pregnant with a baby that 3 adults planned together, I'd have run screaming, Monica added. But here they were, living proof that families could be created rather than inherited, that love could be multiplied rather than divided, that happiness didn't have to follow society's rules to be real. So what would you do if love offered you an unconventional path to happiness? Would you choose society's approval or your heart's truth? Tell me in the comments what family means to you. If this story touched your heart and made you think about love differently, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories that challenge expectations and celebrate the many ways we can build meaningful connections. Share in the comments. What's the most important lesson you learned from Nathan, Monica, and James's journey? Remember, the strongest families aren't always the most traditional ones. They're the ones built on truth, respect, and unconditional love.